Welcome to LG G4 Day New York, the official unveiling of LG's new flagship smartphone. We'll be getting started in just 5 minutes. We're just a few minutes away from the unveiling. Please make your way to your seats. Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce the President and CEO of LG Electronics Mobile Communications, Mr. Juno Cho.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. I am so happy to introduce a truly exciting product in this historical place. In the early days of mobile phone era, there are a variety of designs available. However, fast forward a couple of decades, no, not decades, years, with the introduction of the smartphone. Now every phone looked the same, as if someone decided there was a right way. So, at LG, we began to ask ourselves, how can I give smartphone some character and originality together with comfortable grip and usability? As the smartphones with high resolution displays and high quality cameras, they came on the market. They gave rise to a very unique generation of the people, the visual generation. What this generation value most is to share their personal experiences exactly as they see it. So this is where we felt we can make a significant difference beyond the simple joy of record life's memories. Then, there was other challenges. There are those who always challenging something different from their smartphones, but at the same time, there are many average consumers. To them, smartphone is still a very difficult device to master. So for us, it's a really challenge. How could we provide a unique experience that was simple to use for the average consumers, but yet still offers something new for the expert users? The LG G4 started with this small but meaningful goal in mind. The purpose of innovation should not be to just show off new technologies. It must be based on understanding the user and consideration of those who benefit from it. This is the philosophy behind the G4. And the starting point in LG's long-time aspirations, innovation for a better life. Since taking charge of LG's mobile operation 5 months ago, I have been extremely proud of what I have seen. But nothing gives me more pleasure than to show all of you the result of our hard work. Now the moment we've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, please say hello to LG G4. Even more than ever, the user is the main focus of the G4. The question that was repeated over and over during the development process was, what actual value will this provide to consumers? Without this foundation, all we would have be a hunk of metal and glass. What matters most is how that design delivers on convenience and accentuates the lifestyle of the users. From the beginning, our aspiration was to convey a personal warmth through design elements that were based on analog sensibilities around state-of-the-art digital technologies. We endeavored to create a device that brought to mind a handmade masterpiece, exuding elegance and comfort. You have my word. This phone is simply very comfortable to grip and use, and it is very sturdily built. Now let's talk about LG's camera and display technologies, which are second to none. With the G4, we felt confident that we didn't need the most megapixel or even the most high resolution make a substantial improvement. We saw the innovation on an entirely different level. The LG's LaserCam f1.8 camera captures a scenes like never before. You see around, it's a great landscape, anything, you can capture that. It's the closest we ever come with to emulating what we see with our naked eyes. And those images are rendered more vividly and accurately on the new IPS quantum display. This combination of camera and display technologies exists on no other smartphone on the market. And this is what we exactly mean when we say that G4 offers a great visual experience. Our learning from you belief is embodied in user experience behind the G4. LG UX 4.0 delivers a simpler and smarter experience for all users. While still elegant and simple to use, we expanded the options of the camera and calendar options features to satisfy expert users. The human-centric UX understands and takes in consideration the unique needs of every user to provide an exceptional experience for all. As we have announced, we've been recruiting consumers from all around the world for the G4 consumer trial programs. Well, they will be able to experience the G4 before it is even available for sale. This consumer experience program reflects a level of confidence we have in the G4. But frankly, this is a bold move for us, as would be for any other companies. While our expectations for these are high, but we are nevertheless humbled by a groundswell of interest that we have received throughout this communication period. I hope all of you will see and experience the G4 for yourself today. Thank you very much. Now, we have a special guest who has joined us today to help introduce the G4. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Paul Jacobs, Executive Chairman of LG's long-term partner, Qualcomm. Thank you, Paul.
Thanks for the introduction, and good morning, everyone. It's really an honor to be here with you today at this LG G4 launch event because I'm really always excited to work with LG. LG and Qualcomm have built this really close relationship over the past 20 years. And our work together is founded on this shared vision that we need to deliver the best mobile experiences that are fully optimized to add value to consumers' daily lives. And our latest realization of that vision is this LG G4, which features the Qualcomm Snapdragon 808 processor with X10 LTE. Now, LG and Qualcomm Technologies, we collaborated really closely from the initial stage of the Snapdragon 808 introduction to expertly tune the technologies and make several of LG G4's unique features possible. The resulting G4 smartphone is an ideal example about how the best optimized technologies can come together to meet consumers' needs. And with this Snapdragon-powered LG G4, you're really going to notice a difference in areas like call quality and overall audio quality. And you're going to also see an immediate difference with the lightning-fast X10 LTE modem has download speeds of up to 450 megabits per second. If you think about it, this is really important in a world where the smartphone is becoming our primary device to stream and consume media. And with the LG G4 and the Snapdragon 808 processor, you're also going to have this combination of an incredibly smooth user experience, an advanced feature set, and power efficiency that few smartphones can match. With internal testing, we've shown that this LG G4 gets more than a full day on a single charge. And in part, that's due to this really exceptional integration with the Snapdragon 808 processor. But there are other things beyond performance and efficiency. So here's some other key features that the Snapdragon 808 helps drive on the LG G4. So the LG G4 is capable of capturing 4K video that's truly rich and stunning. And that's based on a combination of LG software and the Snapdragon processor. And the LG G4 boasts state-of-the-art graphics capabilities, which is enabled by the Adreno 400 series GPU. So this Adreno GPU, it has 20% faster graphics performance than its predecessor, and it's been designed specifically for this LG G4's high-quality Quad HD display. Now, there's another thing. The LG G4 is the first to enable sensor-assisted positioning to support more accurate location-based experiences, even when you're indoors or near tall buildings. And it combines Qualcomm Technologies' IZAT technology with the location data sensors that are already integrated into the phone, so you can more accurately keep track of where you are, even in challenging environments like cities or inside buildings, and whether you're in a car or you're on foot. So the depth of our collaboration on the G4, it's really been unique in my experience. And this phone delivers this optimal mix of real-world performance, power efficiency, functionality, and absolutely beautiful design to achieve unprecedented new mobile experiences for consumers. So thanks, everybody, for being here, for your time, and I want to say personally congratulations to LG on the launch of another industry-leading smartphone in 2015 with the LG G4. So thanks, everybody.
And now, please welcome Frank Lee, Director, LG Electronics Mobile Communications, U.S.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I have the privilege of being a part of the team that's introducing a truly great smartphone, the LG G4. And a privilege it is because this phone has been the result of a long journey of hard work and effort to fulfill our brand's promise for innovation for a better life. LG G4 is full of innovations, and it will take me the entire day to go through all of them. But since we're about making lives better, I'll just focus on the highlights. The LG G4 is built on 3 primary principles that were just presented by Mr. Cho. Comfortable elegance, a great visual experience, and of course, a human-centric user experience. You've already heard a little bit about the G4, but now let's take a deeper look at some of the more ambitious capabilities of this smartphone. So let's begin with design, the concept of comfortable elegance. As Mr. Cho said, in the early days of the mobile phone era, we saw some exciting things happening from the design, from some form factors and technology. They were groundbreaking. But over time, there was some uniformity, and it got kind of cold. And for some of us, what's wrong with that? Well, they're thin, they're slim, but you have to wonder whether these designs truly cater to our needs. Let's think about the angular design for a moment. They aren't very comfortable, and with all the glass on the back, you end up with a lot of fingerprints that you have to constantly wipe off. But at LG, we're committed to innovation for a better life, so we look to design phones with you in mind. So we looked at how could we create a different type of experience that could deliver a better smartphone. Our answer was to combine a real sense of elegance and humanity into the G4. Something that everyone could relate to. We wanted to create a smartphone that was more beautiful and also fit the contour of your hand more naturally. The solution is the stunning and ergonomic Slim Arc design. We didn't just round off the edges. The Slim Arc runs along the entire body of the G4. It's clearly there more for than just looks. The nature of the arc means that the LG G4 has about 20% better durability than a flat smartphone. So it stands up better to those accidental drops. Many phones now have non-removable, lower capacity batteries just to shave off a few tenths of a millimeter. So we asked people what they cared about the most. And the vast majority of you said that you would happily give up some slimness for a decent battery and the ability to swap it out if you needed to. So with LG, we decided to give you a high-capacity 3,000 milliamp removable battery. What's more, the slim and attractive arc, which runs along the phone, offers a comfortable, exceptional stable grip when you hold it in one hand. Manufacturing becomes more of a challenge when you leave the world of flat phones. But the result, as you will see, is worth the extra effort. The LG G4's natural fit, Slim Arc, creates a feeling of beautiful design while delivering more practicality. The G4 has a sense of grace and beauty that you just can't get with other phones. Once you hold it, you'll understand why. The design element is so important to us. Well, as touchscreens have dominated the front of the phones, the back is where we felt that we could differentiate in terms of design. So we sought out colors, different finishes, different materials to really set the G4 apart. And as an example, the G4 will be made of high-grade genuine leather. It's hard to imagine that we would take such a challenge, because we're a technology company. We spent 12 weeks alone inventing a new method to present the leather in such a way that it retained its real leather feel. That premium tanning process not only preserves the feel, but also the overall leather characteristics that you'll find in luxury handgoods. LG provides a smooth, durable finish. And LG's proprietary treatment, you can see and feel the craftsmanship that went into the entire process. Well, we really got it right, down to the intricate details, even down to the quality of the thread. It complements rather than just stands out. This is the true craftsmanship at its finest. The natural patterns, the grains, and the colors of the leather make each LG G4 unique, because over time, as you hold the phone and put it to use, the leather will take on even more character, making the G4 even more personal. And that's one major thing that differentiates the LG G4 from other smartphones. It creates comfortable elegance, but it's not just about the leather. We've also selected other beautiful materials. The contoured ceramic back and the hammered metallic finish have a sophisticated diamond pattern that offers a refined look as well as a comfortable grip. So the design of the LG G4 is technologically there, but also with that human perspective to give you that comfortable elegance again.
Genuine leather and ergonomic design for the perfect grip.
Now let's take a look at the camera. But let's hear from an expert that's much more qualified than me on this subject to talk about photography.
Hi, my name's Colby Brown. I'm a landscape travel and humanitarian photographer from Boulder, Colorado. And I'm truly excited to give you your first glimpse at the brand new LG G4 camera. Over the last few years, a lot has changed in the world of photography. Using just their mobile phones, people are able to take decent images without ever having learned the technical side of the craft. However, the truly powerful features, such as exceptional image quality, were typically only available in professional-grade cameras. But now that's about to change. The new LG G4 offers you many of the great advantages of a professional-grade camera and the convenience of a mobile phone. With a fast f1.8 lens and unique color spectrum sensor, the G4 allows you to take great photos even in the basic or normal modes. However, if you really want to make the most of your images, then you want to work in the brand new manual mode, which gives you the creative freedom to customize your shutter speed, ISO, and white balance settings. This takes mobile phone photography to an unprecedented level of quality and control. Essentially, the LG G4 brings the power of a professional camera into the palm of your hand. It's simply amazing. There's a whole new world out there just waiting to be captured. The LG G4, a great visual experience.
Now, Colby just showed us some amazing new features that are on the G4 camera. So let's take a closer look. Critical to every great picture is focus. And it doesn't get much faster than our laser technology in the G4. And if you have laser autofocus, then you better have a camera that launches just as quickly. By incorporating both technology in terms of hardware and software, the LG G4 has a noticeably faster speed when launching the camera, in just 0.6 seconds. But that's not all. The G4 not only launches the camera, but in fact takes a picture by just double-clicking on the rear key. We call this feature Quick Shot. While other smartphones can only launch their camera by double-clicking the home button. Now, to create a great camera, we need it to do more than just be fast. It has to be sophisticated as a standard camera. And just like the root of the word photography implies, light plays an incredible big factor when it comes to photography. To that end, there are two essential prerequisites. First, how much light can the camera draw in? Then, what specs should you look for to see if the camera is actually capturing the light? Simply put, it's the f-stop. And that number should be as low as possible. And the image sensor should be as big as possible. The f-stop number tells you the size of the aperture, that is the opening, the eye of the lens, to let how much light can come through into the camera. So the smaller the f-stop number, the more light is able to pass through the lens and reach the sensor. To illustrate, if you look at an aperture of 1.8, it lets in about 80% more light than an f-stop of 2.4. And that's found on most average smartphones today. After the light passes through, it lands on the image sensor. Again, a larger image sensor can have larger pixels, so capture more of the light, more of the information. As I mentioned earlier, a lower f-stop number is meaningless without a larger image sensor. So we've paired the G4's lens with a larger image sensor as a result. G4's camera captures more light and also allows you to get that better photo. This is essentially important in low light situations, like indoors or at night. So in order to accomplish this, the G4's OIS, Optical Image Stabilization 2.0, performs twice as well as the previous version, OIS Plus. So we've extended the range of stabilization from on the X and Y axis from 1 degree to 2. And for all you golfers out there, that makes a big difference. So It means that G4 offers more stabilization than any other smartphone on the market, because we've also added a Z-axis. So that also compensates for movement and supports the camera's ability to focus faster. So G4 has an aperture of 1.8, a 40% larger image sensor, and now a 3-axis OIS 2.0 that's an improvement over the past. So we're getting a lot of light into the camera. So we've got all the photographers in the room excited, but let's see what this means for the rest of us. Let's just see how it looks in terms of photos. Which one looks better? Needless to say, LG's G4 with the 1.8, you get 49% brighter images, and they're absolutely breathtaking. Okay, how about these? Can you see a difference? G4 camera is awesome, even under the most challenging light situations, thanks again to the 11% brighter lens that the 1.8 provides. Now, once we've got enough light into the camera, we have to be able to process it better. So, anyone know what this might be on the back? Some of you might say it's a dual flash or the infrared sensor, but really it's a color spectrum sensor, not just merely a IR sensor. The color spectrum sensor, in plain English, is a technology that allows the camera to recognize both light and objects. It understands the ambient light around the subject that you're trying to capture, and it reads that color exactly as you see it yourself with your own eyes. The LG G4 is the world's first smartphone with this type of sensor. It reads both RGB light and infrared light. When you combine that, well, let's just look at the graph. The infrared shows you where it recognizes an object. But the RGB, that's where it actually sees the color, the actual frequencies coming off an object. So because it interprets objects in light the way our eyes do, we're going to get better performance. It recognizes the differences between RGB and infrared light. Now, I know going into science here, but what this does, it allows the camera on the G4 to automatically adjust the flash color temperature, white balance, so you get a more natural and increased clarity, and overall, a real-life natural result. So on a cloudy or rainy day, and thank God there wasn't one today, you wouldn't have this great view, most cameras struggle, and this is where the color spectrum sensor kicks in, because it knows precisely what colors are in the scene. So let's look at these images and compare them. The colors that the G4 captures are much more accurate to the real subject. You've got to check this out in the experience zone after the presentation. I guarantee what we have back there will provide you with a really great visual experience. Now, as Colby showed us earlier, in camera mode of the G4, you have both simple and auto. However, there's no substitute, as he was saying, for the human touch when it comes to photography. That's what inspired us to include a manual mode in the G4. It gives you a similar level of control that you see on a professional-grade camera or the digital SLR that you also have. In the manual mode, you can save your photos in RAW format in addition to JPEG by one simple touch. You can also control the white balance. And of course, the ISO and the shutter speed. It's been said that the best camera is the one that you have with you at that time. The G4 is now a legitimate option when you don't have your digital SLR. Now, one cool trick that manual mode is capable of doing is you can catch those streaks of light, those light trails, by simply slowing down the shutter speed, whether it's 1, 2, even 4 seconds, or up to 15 or 30. None of the major smartphones released this year have this capability today. Now, as I mentioned briefly earlier, one other very important feature for photographers is being able to save it as a RAW format. This allows you to edit them, look at the histogram, and do it on your laptop or computer at home. Now, using your USB cable, you can transfer your photos to the computer, or after that, you can transfer the photos wirelessly via Wi-Fi or the cloud. Now, there's no need to worry about storage capacity for your RAW files since the G4 has a micro SD slot. So take as many RAW photos as you like, and feel free to expand your memory anytime. So we want to give you lots of choices. And I'd say that gives us a little bit of an edge over the competition. Now, as all of you know, you can take selfies with the front camera. So we boosted the front camera on the G4 to 8 megapixels. In addition to giving you an 8 megapixel front camera, the gesture shot has been improved. It's more fun, it's more useful. The new gesture shot allows you to take 4 great photos spaced 2 seconds apart. It uses the same gesture, except you just do it twice. Even Kobe, as you can see, had a good time with it.
Crisp photos in low light with a brighter f1.8 lens.
So looking closely at how technology develops, it's easy to see that camera and display technologies obviously go hand in hand. So it's just important that display technology develop in a similar fashion with higher pixel density and the gradual shift so that colors look as close to the original as possible. So we look at these images. These are actual shots taken on the G4 by Colby. They're absolutely stunning. With the G4, you can actually capture images as you see them. So, what did we do? We created the new IPS quantum display to more closely match not only the theater quality of DCI standards, but in fact to deliver 20% better reproduction when it comes to color than conventional LCD panels. The evolution of display technology means that there are less colors that we cannot see and more in terms of the range of colors that we can see. Historically, making the exceptional Quad HD LCD display on the G3 to meet these new DCI standards was a challenge. And while the color gamut is impressive, the revolution is that the IPS display goes even further. All LCDs work by twisting polarized liquid crystals. Going back to science class, they block or allow light to travel through the pixels. In the G4, we've gone with a new type of liquid crystal. Instead, what we've done is we've charged the polarization on the vertical, top and the bottom. What this allows us to do is that we can control the pixels with even greater ability, which allows for more light to penetrate through, and we boost brightness by 25%. Furthermore, a photochemical treatment using UV light allows us to create deeper blacks, sharper text, and a 50% increase in contrast ratio. The high-resolution Quad HD improves color reproduction, increased brightness, and greater contrast. This is coupled with our embedded touch technology, and of course, our clearer, more vivid viewing experience when you're outside. With these tremendous improvements, it can only earn the name IPS quantum display. Oh, and just to clarify, the difference between IPS quantum display and quantum dot display, you'll see both the display technology looks similar, but quantum display allows you to give a thinner and slimmer bezel. But that's not all. With LG's IPS quantum display, the picture quality is so realistic, you can almost taste the strawberries. I'm getting hungry. This isn't just the best display, it's a real step forward. With all these great new display technologies, you're probably wondering about the power consumption. But rest assured, we kept that in mind when we created the G4. The G4 utilizes a special graphic RAM that puts the CPU to sleep when displaying a still frame, so there's less battery drain when there's no action going on your display. And again, as I mentioned, that new liquid crystal technology, where we increase the display's brightness while we're able to reduce the amount of battery that's being used. If that wasn't enough, there's also a more subtle approach that we're taking when it comes to your battery life. LG sends you notifications through Smart Notice, and it'll let you know if there are certain apps, renegade rogue apps, that are still drawing power when you have the phone display off. That notification allows you to manage them. So these three factors contribute to 11% lower power consumption. And with its large 3000 removable battery, the LG G4 is the ideal smartphone for everyday use, with the best display quality with real user benefits. With its advanced camera and improved IPS quantum display, the LG G4 will truly deliver a great visual experience.
IPS quantum display for vibrant colors.
Now let's talk about the last, but definitely not the least, great new pillar for the LG G4. It's the user experience. As you've already heard about the LG's UX 4.0, we designed it with you in mind. Debuting on the LG G4, it's simple to use, and you have to expect that. But it also allows you to customize. As a great example, in the gallery view, we have a new Memories feature. Memories organize your photos and videos into event albums based on the time and place they were taken. Without having to upload your photos or videos to the cloud, it's simple and convenient. Within the gallery, you now have a timeline, so G4 users can easily sort through photos based on the day, the month, and year they were taken. And now scrolling up and down is extremely fast, even if you have a big photo album like I do. Now, next, Smart Bulletin gathers notifications from multiple apps onto the same page, so you don't have to look for different apps and go through the hassle of wasting and swiping from screen to screen. And a UX that expands a wider range of choices based on your user's preference. The Event Pocket gathers everything in your busy schedule from multiple sources, images, texts, memos, and tasks, and you can simply add them to a date by simply dragging them to the calendar. We introduced Smart Notice with G3, and since then, this feature has improved. Now its notifications and alerts are even more useful and personal. And clearly, today is not a reflection of the weather. Quick Help does exactly what the name implies. It gives you simple answers to any questions as you use the G4. All you need to do is click on the question mark icon, ask your questions, and it'll begin to instantly search for your answers. Along with our other great features, we've worked closely with different partners to make the G4 user experience more enriched. Of course, our relationship with Google. In addition to the 15 gigs we all get for free on Google Drive, Google is going to give away to every G4 owner an additional 100 gigabytes for 2 years. In addition, now G4 owners can use their existing Google ID to register their G4 and log into their LG accounts as well. So this works straight out of the box, even if you reset your phone. Google Docs, Sheets, Slides, they're also pre-installed. So G4 users can get the convenience of securely collaborating with friends and family, even without a tablet or laptop. So we're constantly seeking out collaborations like this to create a better all-around smartphone ecosystem. Now, LG G4 owners who are also Volkswagen drivers will be able to take advantage of MirrorLink to activate a simplified, safe driving interface on the touchscreens of their cars. We're working very close with Volkswagen, and we're going to roll it out through our next update, and they'll be available in select markets. So up to now, we focus on developing features that provide a better experience across the board. With LG G4, all of your unique needs are taken into consideration to create a great experience that you can see and feel. When we made our new smartphone, we put you at the center of the G4 experience. We didn't just chase technology for technology's sake. We kept true to our promise for innovation for a better life. This world is one great experience. Your smartphone should enhance it. It shouldn't interrupt it, and life's good. And at LG Mobile, We want to make sure that we are helping making it great.
An impressive viewing experience is important. But what's more important is what it inspires. Beauty in itself isn't what matters. What matters is that it makes you feel beautiful. Pursuit of a high level of technology is meaningful. But even more meaningful is technology respecting your lifestyle. Innovation for a better life. Now you are the center of this special experience. See the great. Feel the great. LG G4.
Now, it's your chance to go and try out the LG G4 for yourself. Behind you is an awesome experience area where we want you to get your hands on the G4, check out the demo stations, speak to Colby, get some photography tips. It's now time for you to see and feel the greatness of the LG G4. Thank you, and have a great afternoon.